Hello to everyone out there on Facebook and YouTube. It's Makeda Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist. And in case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. And I have a holistic approach to nutrition. And I study all the ways that we can take our body to its highest level, okay? So my approach to fitness, nutrition, health is all holistic, okay? And so I hope all of you are feeling good today. If you haven't seen the videos I've done on coronavirus, how to keep your immune system up, and the role that vitamin D and vitamin A play in our immune systems, please check them out. Today I want to talk about what to do if you experience COVID symptoms, okay? What to do so you can slow down the progression and hopefully not end up in the hospital, okay? Because once you're in the hospital, it is very likely that it will be downhill from there. Not definite, but very likely, okay? So one of the things that I don't feel like they're saying a lot is that some of the COVID symptoms are vomiting and diarrhea, okay? And so vomiting and diarrhea, that is the body trying to expel something. That is the body trying to let go of poison, okay? So when people are vomiting and have diarrhea, it's not necessarily the worst thing because it's your body protecting you and trying to omit and excrete that toxin, okay? But vomiting and diarrhea is one of the signs and one of the early symptoms of COVID. And so if you are experiencing that, ginger tea is great, okay? Also fermented foods, like getting some kimchi or sauerkraut, and even consuming a liquid in there to get probiotics into your system. Taking probiotics, but at that point, you may not have access to get probiotics, and so the quickest thing you might be able to do is get some kimchi or some sauerkraut and consume the liquid and get probiotic shots from that. Okay, I have several videos where I talk about probiotics and the role that it plays in our immune system and our gut health. If you ever have diarrhea or vomiting, probiotics you for sure need, okay? Also, probiotics are your first line of defense to protect you against infection. So if you take the probiotics, it will help your body fight the infection and also restore balance, okay, in your gut. What was the other thing? Broth, okay, bone broth. So chicken broth is the one that most people can find, but it doesn't just have to be chicken broth. It can be pork broth, beef broth, because there's a lot of ramen, like Japanese ramen noodle houses all over America. Now, I'm not talking about the ramen, oodles and noodles ramen. I'm talking about Japanese ramen. They're usually made with the pork broth, okay? And so they're a really nutritious food. Also, I think it's Vietnamese or Koreans. I think it's Koreans make a similar, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they make a similar type of soups that are broth-based. It could be chicken, there's fish broth, beef bone broth, and pork bone broth. Any of those, all of those are really, really good. Chicken broth is the one that's considered like penicillin, okay? Jewish people consider it penicillin. And there's a Mexican restaurant in Chicago that I just ordered some food from the other day, and they had all kinds of broths on the menu. I'm telling you, Chicago is the best food city, but that's a video for a whole nother day. Hands down, as somebody who travels all around the U.S., I think Chicago is the best food city. But there's this Mexican restaurant here that had like 10 different kinds of broth, and one of them said broth wakes the dead, okay? And so whenever you're trying to revive yourself, if you've been sick and you've been vomiting, and you're trying to revive yourself back, you need lots of broth. Because when you're really sick and you've been throwing up, your body can't even hold food. The broth has a lot of properties. It helps to heal your gut. It helps to get you some amino acids. It helps to hydrate you. A lot of Native Americans consumed broth for hydration, okay? Water does not hydrate you. So if you've been vomiting and throwing up and you don't want to get dehydrated, drinking water is not it, okay? I also have a video on hydration science. So when you want to get rehydrated, you need something that's high in potassium, sodium, and carbohydrates. So in the right balance especially. So coconut water is the best. Like coconut water is very similar to saline fluid. Like if you go to the hospital for dehydration, they give you saline fluid. It's almost identical to coconut water, okay? Also, watermelon juice is another good one. All fresh juices, fruit and stuff like that have potassium, but the ratio of potassium, sodium, and carbohydrates is excellent in coconut water and watermelon juice. If you had orange juice, I would say dilute it half with water or something like that, okay? But I really wouldn't drink orange juice because it's also a bit acidic and too sweet. So the broth helps to hydrate you, helps to heal your gut, helps to nourish you when you've been depleted from vomiting and diarrhea, okay? Broth is medicine. It helps to bring you back to life. So those are the things that you want to do and also lots of sleep. Lots of sleep, okay? Sleep as much as you can because a lot of the healing happens in your sleep. So those are the things that you would do if you start to get like vomiting and diarrhea symptoms, okay? And if you have the strength, depending on, because some people, their vomiting is so bad that even if they drink tea, they're going to throw it up, okay? If that person had the strength, okay, to sit up, they could do an herbal steam, breathing in the steam, even though they're not experiencing respiratory problems yet. It still can help that prevent it from coming on, okay? So, but if they're not able to stand up, then they do, sit up, they do the other things that I mentioned. If you have a fever, okay, you do not want to take medication to lower your fever because a fever is the body's way of healing. When you get a fever, that means for every degree that your body temperature goes up, your immune system, the rate that your immune system works speeds up like 100 times or something crazy. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. So a fever is a sign that your body is working to kill this virus, this bacteria, okay? In this case, a virus. So you don't want to take a medication to lower the fever. This is the reason why some people try to do that and they end up getting even more sick, okay? So you don't want to stop the body from its natural healing process, all right? So if you have a fever, also, get lots of sleep. And if you want to if you're trying to cool off, like maybe taking a cool bath, but do not try to take a medicine to decrease your fever. If you start to feel like, oh, my throat, I'm coughing, okay? You have a little cough, or you start to feel a little pressure in your chest. Because another thing about this virus is that it's also causing people to have heart attack-like symptoms, okay? So let's say you start to feel like, oh, I have a little cough, I'm feeling a little flu-y, okay? I definitely recommend consuming lots of green tea with echinacea if possible. Also, oregano and thyme tea. I personally can't do oregano and thyme tea. I think I would throw up. But if you're able to do that, definitely oregano and thyme tea. And steaming, and also ginger. You can do ginger tea as well. All those, right? Mix them up even. Also, you can do a steam with garlic, oregano, thyme. Definitely garlic, oregano, thyme. If you want to throw some ginger in it, you can, because ginger helps to increase circulation. But for sure, garlic, oregano, thyme, put it in some hot water, boil some hot water, throw the herbs in there, cover your face with a towel. You don't want to burn your face, okay, so be careful. And take deep breaths and breathe in that steam and get the volatile oils from the thyme, the oregano, and the garlic into your nose and down into your lungs. Because oil of oregano, thyme, and garlic are very antiviral, antimicrobial, and can definitely help with infections. So those are things that you want to do. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I want to say. My friend Indigimama, I talk about her all the time, Pankazani out in LA, she's making some homemade cough syrup. I told her to share her recipe. I told her to put it on YouTube. Hopefully she will, because she was making a homemade cough syrup from a bunch of herbs, which I also think is great. So if I preach and taking care of yourself. So you want to try to be as healthy as you can at all times, so you don't have to get sick. You don't want to wait till there's an outbreak of something to try to get on your health game. But regardless of that, okay, regardless of whether that's you or not, if you start to experience these symptoms, there are things that you want to do to try to stop it so it does not progress and so you do not end up in the hospital. Because once you end up in the hospital, if you get hooked up to a ventilator, a lot of the people who get hooked up to a ventilator, I think they said like 80% are on it 80% die who go hooked up to the ventilators. So you have a lot of them people on it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and people are typically on ventilators for a couple days to a week. Now you have people on it for 2 or 3 weeks. The longer you're on it, the more likely you will have a negative outcome. And so you really want to prevent getting to that point, okay? It's going to be really important. Also, the thing about coronavirus too, about COVID, is that people will get sick and then they will start to feel like they're getting better, only to get sicker and rapidly decline. So if you, feeling symptoms and feeling sick and you have a moment of, oh, I'm feeling better now, because it comes in waves, oh, I'm feeling better now, do everything that you can. Everything that you can to get your system up. The broth, the teas, the steams, all of that. If you have olive leaf extracts, okay, I should have had mine. It's in my room. I have an olive leaf extract where I drop it into my tea or my watermelon juice or whatever it is I'm drinking every day, okay? I put that in there. So if you have those things on deck, then use those too, okay? Throw it in your tea. Use those too. It's complementary medicine. The more things you combine, the better. Okay, so remember, if you start to feel congestion, you start to feel issues breathing, you start to have a little bit of a cough, you want to breathe in the vapor of garlic, thyme, and oregano. You want to drink lots of hot tea. Okay, green tea and echinacea, the two of them together are superb. Green tea and echinacea. You can drink thyme tea and oregano tea. And you can combine garlic and ginger, which I have a Jamaican friend who drinks the garlic ginger tea. I can't stomach drinking garlic tea. But all of those things, okay? All of those things. If you start to feel like and also if you have mucus, because a lot of people have a dry cough, okay? A lot of people have a dry cough. It's typically not a wet mucousy cough. But if you do have a mucousy cough and a lot of mucus, throw eucalyptus, okay, into the steam. Because breathing in the eucalyptus can help get out that mucus if you have mucus that's in your chest, okay? If you're feeling you're feeling nauseous and vomiting, you want the ginger tea, you want the broth, okay? And you want the probiotics or probiotic shots. If you're somebody who kefir doesn't bother you and yogurts don't bother you, then you can consume that too. Because it's easy to digest, gives you some nutrition and lots of probiotics. Okay, so I think that I've said everything I needed to say. I just want to make sure. And lots of sleep. If you start to feel like you're getting any COVID symptoms and you're feeling sick, get so much sleep. Because that's where your body heals. So it's not going to happen if you're not really sleeping either. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. I hope that all of your family and friends stay healthy and safe. I have seen a lot of people who are losing loved ones and have loved ones in hospitals, and that's really unfortunate. There's a lot that we can do and you want to do, all right? So make sure you check out my video on the 5 ways to strengthen your immune system, and my videos on why vitamin A and vitamin D are so important for our immune systems. Make sure you check those videos out as well, okay? If you learned something from this video, please share it. Please like it. Please comment and stay healthy. Okay, people. Bye.